Whoa! What's going on? Where am I? Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is Fiercestbard. I am continuing my art journey. Today, trying to draw Neon from Goddess of Victory Nikkei. I'm missing so many details on this right now. But we're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best. We are gonna say we are going to do as the anime characters do and gambarimasu, as they say. I know I said that really horribly. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all part of the bit. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a great Wednesday. Actually, it's already Wednesday. Jeez, you know, time is going. Time is going. And we're along for the ride, but it's okay. It's okay, as long as we get this done. And I'm starting to see, like, you know, I got a little bit faster with the line art with this one, because I think normally it's still taking me quite a bit to do the line art for this one, but as in comparison to some of my previous images, I feel like this one's going a little bit smoother and a little bit quicker in a lot of ways and stuff like that, right? So, like, we'll see if this is real or not, but you know. And I'm hoping that sometime this weekend I'll have some time to do a little bit more sketching and continue to work on what my next projects are going to be like, because as you guys know from the last stream, I kind of started sketching out a fan art of Ingrid from Street Fighter 6, and you know, like, that one seems to be going pretty well, even though there's some proportional issues that I have to take care of with that one, but overall, we're getting somewhere with that. But I think because I had a really clear vision for what I wanted for that one, it definitely helped a lot in that case. Like, but what happens when I don't have as clear a vision? And it's like, I do want to draw Rappy. I do want to draw that image of Rappy. I do, because it's like, you know, again, I kind of feel like I should, because it's like, I drew Honest and I drew Neon, right? As you can see right here. And it's like, if I don't draw Rappy, it's like, I feel like I'm missing something from the set. So I'm just kind of like, trying to think of which version to do and which version to do and what pose and stuff like that. The only problem is, like, she doesn't really have too many alt costumes. She has her basic costume that she goes into battle with, and then she's got her the free costume that everybody voted on. And then there's also the latest costume, which is the idol outfit that she has. You know, like, so I'm wondering, do I do that? But then, like, I didn't draw Neon in any kind of outfit like that's like that, right? And she's not technically part of TD Star, right? So it's like, she's not a Titty Star. So, like, would it even make sense for me to draw that outfit? I don't know. I'm probably considering way too many things that have no bearing on whether or not I should be able to do this artwork. But, you know, like, if I wasn't overthinking something, then I guess I wouldn't be me, huh? But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm considering which outfit, but in the meantime, you know, I could also just like, move on to another character and stuff like that too, right? Like, I don't have to stick strictly with my quote-unquote schedule, right? Like, I don't really have to do that. Like, I keep thinking that I have to do, but I don't really have to do that. But I don't know, who would I draw other than Rappy, right? Like, at this point, I feel like, because I feel like there's so many VTubers that I want to give a shot at drawing, right? Like, I've never drawn Watame, for example. I've never drawn Watame. I've never drawn Iron Mouse actually. I kind of feel like I want to draw Iron Mouse at some point. There's also some of the newer Hololivers like Gigi and stuff, and some of the indies that indie um VTubers out there, right? Like I know who did I used to want to draw quite a bit. I saw let's see. Um Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else that I would like to draw and stuff like that. Like in terms of other VTubers and stuff like that. I've come to the conclusion that I've stuck mainly with like three types of things, right? Like game character fan art of games that I personally like, VTubers, VTubers, and what else? I haven't really done too much in terms of OG or original stuff, right? Like I should probably do more. I know Biscotti has been kind of um Biscotti has been kind of ignored for the most part, right? And I also have like access to a couple of other original characters here and stuff like that, other than Biscotti and the capybara girl and stuff like that, right? So it's like there's so many possibilities of what I could do right now, but it's like I'm not taking advantage of it. I feel like I really should though, but like I've just been mainly focused on fan art. It's just easier to have something to draw for or when it comes to fan art, I think. You know, does not mean that I should like rely on it, but it is much harder to have like a set of original characters and original art stuff that's not fan art related, right? Wait, how large is her sleeve there? Oh, it's actually quite large actually. Okay. I actually got that right. But we'll see, like I've said before all the things that I want to do moving forward and stuff like that. Like it's not like it's a secret, that I've said before what I want to do next and what my plans are. But the problem is just having the time to actually enact those plans. It's like so I'm trying to like figure out. Let me see, hold on. I'm trying to figure out for myself, like, a better way of working on these things on the weekends and stuff like that. And just, like, using my time better. Like, managing my time better is definitely a big thing. I think a lot of people can utilize, like their time management is such a huge skill for a lot of people that they could use and stuff like that. Me as well and stuff like that. And I feel like I need to learn to time manage myself so much better than I've been. But we shall see. We shall see. Okay, we're almost up to the hand now. So the hand, I kind of drew, like, in this kind of way, with her doing the peace sign here and stuff like that, with her thumb out. It's actually not realistically possible. Some people can do it, but for me, I can't do that without having my thumb wrap around my my ring and pinky finger. It's so hard to be able to do that kind of thing without breaking your fingers. So I'm like, okay. I'm gonna have to change this pose just a bit. But luckily I already have like the I already kind of have the basic form for it down. Like, I know what I'm doing here, so I can definitely do this. She does have a glove on though, so we can get away with some stuff over here right now. Okay. Okay, so first we have the bend on the two fingers there. And then we have to get in this part over here, right? Get a little bit more wrinkle there. And then, so the thumb, the palm portion of the thumb is not going to extend that far like how I have it on the sketch here anymore, because it's curling inwards to go actually over this finger right here. So the thumb actually kind of compresses a little bit over here, like this part of the thing. Right, and then let's see. Whoops. And I'm definitely doing this in a way that makes it a lot more stylized than it really needs to be. So, you know. And then... Okay, yeah, it's a little bit too far out. Sometimes the best reference is the one that's right in front of your face. And you can kind of check it. Not that I have a human hand or anything like that, obviously I don't. But, you know, sometimes you can check. Sometimes you have ways of checking. And then the two fingers that make the peace sign there, then they don't necessarily go back that far, right? Like, actually the the middle finger here actually has to be a little bit further front facing a little bit, because like if you try to do this kind of pose with your hand and stuff like that, with the like without your thumb there, you'll notice that the middle finger actually gets pushed forward just a little bit and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. It's like things that you kind of notice when you try these things on your own, like that you don't really notice until you like actually try to do it yourself. Again, not that I have the ability to do so. After all, I don't have a human hand like you guys do, but you know, I have my ways of testing it out. Trust me. Just trust me. Though at the same time, you don't necessarily need it to be that realistic, right? When it comes to like there is room to exaggerate. You know, I'm not gonna say that you have to have everything perfectly the same as real life, because you can exaggerate certain things in art to a certain point, especially when you're doing like anime style or comic book art and stuff like that, right? There's certain things that you can get away with exaggerating. Like once you understand the mechanics of something in real life, then you can kind of do it, right? Like you can just like push something to a certain point, and then it's all about how far you can push it before it just becomes like unrealistic, and then you've got to change it and stuff like that. So that's kind of a lot of what doing anime and manga art is kind of like, you know, like this style, I should say. Like ultimately, what I was explaining with the two fingers being like one finger being a little bit bent forward because it's being pulled down by the other fingers, but then the other finger being like normal, right, would make it like this weird crossing of so you'd almost have like crossed fingers there if it was like to be done super realistically. So maybe I won't do it too realistically. Maybe I will just take a little bit of artistic license here and just now I'm just trying to position it here. I've got to account for the different like the different shapes that will make up the fingers, so I gotta account for that in a bit. So right, and then now I'm just gonna make it a little bit more this way, right, and then this part of the finger down here will be a little bit visible, and then going down to the thumb. Okay, and then let's just like correct this a little bit. I made the bump here a little bit too pronounced. this is not quite as realistic to a real life finger, because a real life finger is gonna have different segments to it, right? But like there is a specific smoothness to like the anime style that like is just kind of strange, but you know, you kind of just roll with it. And then we just finish off the gloved part. Does actually that actually does how pronounced are her finger? Oh, she's actually got quite long fingernails. Oh, okay. So that's actually unexpected. I didn't expect her to have glorious fingernails. I thought this would be like one of the other girls would in Nikkei. I expect them to have it, but like for Neon, it's a little bit surprising. She doesn't have them colored though, so I think I'm just leaving a little spot open here because I don't want to detail out even like the cuticles and things like that. Like, you know, that's like weird. That's a little bit too realistic. Okay. Okay, and then her glove. Okay, I think that should be okay. Maybe her thumb is a little bit too... like... Let me just give it a little bit of space. There we go. Tired? Going to walk our... Okay, Mooney. Have a good walk with the stinky boy. He doesn't quite have these on the actual design, but I think I'm gonna try to add some light like stitching and whatnot, right? Like, you know, just so that this is an actual like gloved hand and not just like a painted on like thing, right? Like, so adding some of these
emotional damage.
With emotional damage, who's is that who I think it is? Is that who I think it is? Oh my goodness. Everybody. It's Papa. Papa, what are you doing here? Oh my gosh, I gotta okay, guys. If you've ever seen me previously, I gotta make a toggle of some sort, right? I gotta make a toggle where I can switch back and forth. But yeah.
Mr. Meeseeks,
If you've ever seen Biscotti here and myself previously, I let me put her on the side so you guys can check her out. What he actually helped to rig Biscotti and myself previously. Yeah, and oh, Primordial, thanks for the follow. Super appreciated. Yeah, what he is Papa. Somehow I became a VTuber mama myself, and what he is my Papa. Biscotti is off the screen. Oh no! Biscotti is off the screen now! No. Here we go. Wait. Yes. You know what? Let me just remove my my thing. My drawing tablet. You guys don't need to see my drawing tablet, right? You guys don't need to see that. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. I did the wrong side. No. I love the darkiness. No, it's not darky. It's awesome. But yeah, what were you guys up to? What's going on? What were you guys up to? For those of you who don't know who are in here, Wati does a lot of rigging for live 2D models and gaming as well and stuff like that. You haven't seen? Yeah, I know. Our times have been so disjointed in terms of the streaming times, right? Like, I used to stream at times that more aligned with your times and stuff like that, but like as of late I haven't been able to do that and stuff like that. So it's been a minute. I know time zones do suck. Oh yeah, you've been playing Danganronpa. That's right. I saw a bit of it. Yeah, like Mooney was actually trying to get me to play Danganronpa also. I played a little bit of the same one that you're playing right now. Like, it's like, oh no. I'm trying to get through it too because I've never played it before. Yeah, I know. That's it was actually quite fun and humorous and stuff like that. Like, Mooney is trying to get me to guess at what's happening with each chapter and stuff like that. I mean, it is like, no joke. That shit is disturbing, but yeah, you know. But yeah. Oh, for those of you who are new in here that do not know who I am, my name is Fiercestbard. Hello, I am a V artist here on Twitch. With my partner Mooney, we run a brand called Cappy Buds, and today I'm actually drawing a fan art from Goddess of Victory Nikkei of the new version of Neon with the Vision Eye and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, like I don't game too much anymore. I used to, but I don't game anymore as much because I'm trying to do a huge focus on art right now and arting, because I'm trying to level up my skills so that, you know, like in the future I can draw more stuffs. That's like more fun for everyone. But here, let me move Biscotti into the corner. Are they though? I was like, you know, it's funny too because you know, this year I've been trying really hard to level up as much as I can, but you know, in order to level up, I have to draw more and stuff like that, right? So like I'm trying to fall into the habit of preparing sketches before I come into the stream much more often. Like you know, the next thing I have in line to draw is like I'm trying to draw Ingrid from Street Fighter 6 right now, and I sketched her out this weekend, or at least a pose. There's a lot of proportional issues that are going on in this right now, but I'm trying to fix them before or rather I will fix them when I get there. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Wadi, you know, one day, we shall see where I get to when I level up. You know, um, actually, speaking of biscotti, what's interesting is that I'm trying to figure out a way, you know, because I think biscotti is up for a redesign. like her era of redesign might be coming up, because I tried to do the thing where I would like draw her like a new outfit for her like every year or something like that, and I kind of gave up on year 2. I stuck with this design for biscotti for a while, but I feel like she needs a kind of like a modern glow up and stuff like that. um so yeah, like, you know, it's one of those things, right, where I gotta figure out how that would work, especially since you put so much effort into rigging this for me and stuff like that. So it's like I would try to find out how to fit it over this, as opposed to, you know, being completely new, because honestly speaking, like, you know, she's not gonna change into anything that different in terms of her general look and stuff like that. It's just her clothing, right? I did rig her. Oh, hold on. I did rig her in any house, so a new outfit would not be too hard. Shh, don't tell chat that's a secret. No, it's not. It's not a secret. If you remember, yeah, I actually do. I actually do. You guys may or may not know this, but like I did try to draw biscotti um anatomically accurate. Yeah, you know, like, I was really surprised too, like how you approached the way that you rigged it. I didn't think it was possible at the time, so I didn't know anything about, like, you know, because I barely know anything about like 2D rigging, right? So I had no idea that, you know, like we would be able to have, like, you know, biscotti reacting separate from myself, you know. Like, for anybody that doesn't know, I am the rodent of extraordinary size that's sitting on biscotti's head. I am not biscotti herself. She is just my humanoid avatar that allows me to reach the drawing screen and the drawing tablet. So she makes it possible for me to draw, because as you guys can see, I have very stubby arms and legs. I can't really reach the screen to actually draw on my own. So I need somebody to help me do that, you know. I always need somebody to help me do that a little bit. So, you know. But yeah, you know, like, it was really interesting to see how, like, how it finally came out and stuff like that. I was really happy with the final result here and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, right now, I'm trying to get this image of Neon correct, but the problem is I'm missing so many of the details, and then I gotta do the gun on the other side, and drawing guns has not been I'm not an expert at drawing guns, so we're gonna see how that works. We're definitely gonna see how that works in the next little bit and stuff like that, because I've got to figure that part out. But yeah, you know. Oh, Waddy, by the way, if you need to take a break to go get dinners, or, you know, like just kind of relax and chill out after stream. I know you probably need to chill out for a bit. Go right ahead. Don't worry about it. You know, like I totally get it. I totally get it. Streaming is fun, but also streaming is long and it is hard. So if you need to go, go right ahead, and we will continue. We will continue on our journey to draw fan arting. Right, yes, I need to do that. Would love to stay. Wish you a wonderful rest of... Yeah, no problem. And yeah, like I haven't, you know, Papa, you are the OG Papa. So I have to visit more. I really do. I really have to try to carve out the time to visit more. So, you know, we shall see. But your legacy here lives on in Biscotti. I'm gonna be Ganbarimasu. That exactly. I'm gonna be a Ganbarimasu VTuber drawing the arts. Yeah, you too. You too. Thanks for dropping by. Seriously, like always, nice to see you. And then one day, perhaps I too will be able to fulfill my dream of being an all-star Spice monger, and I too will be able to draw the Spice art, as well as the other Spice mongers online. I will. You believe in my ability to be a Spice monger? One day, we shall see. We shall see. What the heck are these anyway? What? I thought... Okay, so she has buttons that are... What? Oh, I guess they don't... Huh, interesting. Okay. So they have a single stitch that holds them in, like in place or something. Also, bye Mooney as well. Always nice to see you too. Yeah, you know, I do remember. You remember? All right, see ya, Waddy. See ya next time. Hopefully, like depending on my schedule. Because again, you know, like I would love to be able to art more, and more often too, right? In terms of doing the arting and stuff. But unfortunately, we have Twitch-kun coming to bug us. I'm doing something say-so. This is not degenerate at all. There's no degeneracy going on here whatsoever. But for some reason, Twitch-kun pays us a visit. And I don't know why. I thought Twitch-kun only paid people a visit when something off is going on. And then we have to hide our eyes. We have to divert his eyes. One day, Waddy. Maybe the spice will return. We shall see. No, but yeah, in all seriousness, you know, like, I think it's no secret here. I've been trying to level up because I too would like to venture into I do not make a secret of it. I would like to venture into the spicier side of the internet, you know, at some point, in terms of art, but we'll see what happens with that, you know. But one day perhaps. For now we shall see. We definitely shall see. Okay, let's see. We got the hand, and we got, we basically got everything on the right side of her done, and now we gotta worry about the gun and her other shoulder. Alright, see ya. Hopping off for real. No problem. See you next time, Waddy. Bye-bye. We shall continue to art here, without going into the spice, for the time being. without going into the spice, but we will make do with what we can. Speaking of which, I actually was planning on doing a test stream for said spice, right? I was planning on doing one like last weekend and stuff, right? We had plans on doing that, right? And how would we do that? By leveraging the fact that there is more than one platform that artists can do arts on, and there was another platform that seemed to be very friendly for said types of work, right? And I tried to sign up for them. Um, I've still yet to receive my activation code, and I don't know what's up with it. I keep clicking on the thing to get an activation code resent to me. I sent responses to their support email, which is supposedly their support email, but I don't really know if it is. Because their support page is always down. For whatever reason, like their support page for some reason is like forever like behind some kind of weird Cloudflare firewall that's like broken or something like that. Just like I can never get through to them, so I can't get my account set up, unfortunately. And it's like it's a little bit frustrating. I do have an account separate from that account that I'm trying to get made, right? Which is actually using, you know, what my handle here that everybody knows, Fiercestbard, right? But like I don't really want to use the same exact handle when venturing into that side of things, because of the fact that, like, as you guys know, may or may not know, for a lot of artists, we have to kind of be very careful about certain companies basically tracing back to our spice art, right? Because then you might get banned from those payment transactions, and then, you know, you're kind of screwed when you want to offer commission services and things like that. You can't, because you have no way to actually offer those services if you're not on any one of the payment transactors, right? And it's become a pretty big issue for some artists here. Like there's some pretty well-known artists on Twitch, for example, that can no longer utilize those services, right? And it's kind of frustrating. It really is, you know, like but, you know, you just kind of have to run. You have to roll with what you have. You can't really just sit here and complain about it, right? Because, you know, all the complaining that you do is probably just gonna, you know, fall on deaf ears anyway. So you just kind of have to roll with what you got. And so I'm trying to protect myself by creating alternate accounts and things like that, right? So, you know, that's kind of why I'm having such, I guess that's why I'm having such issues with doing getting my account activated, I guess, on the service. What service would that be for those? I think it's okay for me to mention it now, because I don't think Twitch is as they don't care as much as they used to, right? Like, but it was Picarto. I was trying to get on that service, but I guess for whatever reason, maybe they're not allowing new accounts to be created. We're just not. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. I'll see what happens in the future. I'm hoping that I'll still be able to do it, but if not, then, you know, that's kind of what it is, right? It is what it is. I'm not gonna go crazy over it, basically, if I can't get on. But, you know, like, there's also other reasons why I would want to be able to draw on, like, a service that's a little bit more free for artists in terms of, like, what they can do on there. And it has to do with the fact that I have to do a lot of anatomy studies and things like that. Just stuff that, like, you know, I don't think that Twitch would be too like kind towards in terms of just having it on this, because ultimately, you know, just anyone can just kind of wander into these streams. So I don't want a situation where, you know, someone that shouldn't be here is here watching us, like, you know, do anatomical studies and things like that, and it's kind of like, hey, you get out of here, right? It's like, we always have to be worried about stuff like that. So, you know, it's nothing new for all sorts of artists. So it's like, you know, but it is something that we have to worry about. Now, let's see, what else do I have to detail here? Okay, so she's got her other shoulder here. Right, so she's got a shoulder on that side. It's kind of not really visible because it's hidden behind hair over here a little bit, right? So we've got that, and I'm just trying to add some of this stuff here to make it like have like a certain flow. I just don't want to add too many lines here, but I want enough lines so that people can kind of tell which way and which direction the hair is flowing and stuff. So, bam. And then this arm's gonna have some of the wrinklies, because it's getting pulled. The fabric over here is getting pulled in that direction. But yeah, I was like trying to think about, like, you know, what poses to draw for Rappy Red Hood, but I still don't have one, and I don't know which one, but I really do want to eventually add one image of her as well, because I have Honest, like Titty Star Honest, right? She is I already did the line art for her. I do have to make some corrections to that line art, but then Mooney is now readily actively adding color to that one, right? So I'm like, okay, we got Titty Star Honest, we got Neon here, so we need one of Rappy. And I'm still trying to think of what kind of pose to draw her with. And the funny part about Rappy, especially in the Red Hood version of her, oh my gosh, yeah, yes, it is Red Hood. Holy crap, I'm thinking freaking Red Hood from Batman. Like, what the hell? Why am I saying that? Oh yeah, that's right, it is called Red Hood. Okay, but yeah, like the funny part about her in that version of her is that she's a whole lot more playful in terms of being, like, the way that she behaves around the commander. So I don't know, maybe I do the sleepwear version of her. I don't know though. It feels like that one's so different from these two. But maybe I don't know. I gotta think about it. I really gotta think about this one. But let me, in the meantime, at least draw. Oh, this is the whoops. This is the dry ink pen that I put down, which doesn't have quite like it doesn't have quite a straight line, though. Maybe that looks okay. I don't know. It's always good to experiment with certain things, right? Maybe that's okay, but we'll see how I feel about it, because I have this on a separate layer too, so it's not like I can't just change it. And her gun has, like, so much freaking detail on it. Like, I've got to figure out that part of all this. I'm hoping that it's gonna be angled in a way where it's coming towards the viewer, though. So, if I get at least that part right of it, I will be very happy. Okay, so which line is it that I don't need? It's this one over here, because this part is covering that. And then maybe I can add some of these lines over here. So to just start building it up a little bit.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look
Mr.
at me!
Meeseeks? What? Is this how you say your name? Is it Taro Man? Is it Taro Man? Is that how you say it? But yeah, thanks for the follow. Super appreciated. Hello, welcome in. You know, hopefully you're having a good Wednesday. We're just trying to art. We're trying to art. I don't know. Some people might say that I try to art. I am an artistic cappy, and that I can try to art, but you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, thanks for the follow. Super appreciate it. You know, we'll see what happens with this one though, because I don't do well with mechanical designs and guns and things like that. Like it's probably one of the weaker points for me as an artist. So we'll see how this goes. Trying to start to learn how to draw. Oh, nice. You know, like it's always cool well, you know, to hear people trying it out, you know, because I know there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to trying out art, because a lot of people like feel like, oh, I can never be this good, or never, you know, or not, or you know, it's hard, it you know. But I think of art as something that like just anybody can really try, you know, if they just like, if you really want to learn it, you will be able to. I believe in anybody that like wants to try to learn arting. It's not a locked skill that people cannot, that's impenetrable, you know. But I don't know if I start with this with hand, paper, or in computer. Just thinking like this really hard, and I don't know if this is really for me or just appreciation. Well, you know what, Zetaro Man, I will say, I would suggest you start with hand and paper. You don't have to. You really don't. But the reason that I suggest hand and paper is because it is the avenue for which you can get into learning art and starting to learn art at the cheapest, right? Like a piece of paper and a pen to start learning to draw, right, is like infinitely cheaper than starting on computer, unless you happen to have somebody like, you know, I pass down a lot of my old tablets that I don't use to family members and things like that. Like if you have somebody that can pass you something that you can use, that's great. You know, that's awesome, right? But I think you don't really have to think too hard about it, because the medium that you start with doesn't dictate the medium that you ultimately learn to draw on. Like, you know, I'm doing this on a Cintiq, right? Like a Wacom Cintiq 24 or whatever, right? I learned how to draw on pen and paper. The only thing that I could afford was freaking loose leaf paper and school pens. I was drawing the heck out of everything with that stuff, and I was still able to adapt to this eventually. Like, you know, the skills that you learned are cross compatible with each other in terms of art. It's just it just takes you like a little bit to get used to the new medium, but it, you know, it works either way. I think if the only thing that you have is pen and paper is fine, you know. You don't need expensive stuff to learn to draw. And yeah, like, you know, I don't think you have to think too hard about it. You just draw the thing that you like. that you enjoy. Like if the thing you like is like comic book superheroes, or like for me it was like manga and game characters and things like that. For everybody it's something different. As long as you're enjoying the thing that you enjoy, it doesn't really matter what it is. You can start with that. I know a lot of people will suggest that anybody who's new to art begin with like specific things like realism and things like that and stuff like that. I think which is fair, which is a fair assessment. I think that everybody has to learn eventually in some way that's like quote unquote official. But I also think that you just get into it because you want to draw the thing that you like and you have the most fun with. Nice tips, thank you. Yeah, no problem. Like I'm always very curious and supportive of other people who are starting to learn arting and stuff like that, because my journey is long. My journey in arting was long and hard and stuff like that, and I'd like to give that same support to others who are just starting out and trying on their own as well, because this is the type of thing that I wish that I had when I was a little Cappy and stuff like that. I wish I had this sort of like thing, because I'm an older Cappy, and I grew up in an era where the interwebs was there, but it wasn't quite like what it is today. Like, so like I wish I had all these resources and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if I could help even a little bit, because I'm not the best artist in the world or anything like that, not even close. I'm still learning myself, but if I can impart a little bit of help onto some people, that would be great. And it's also kind of part of the reason why I started streaming myself, because like I wanted to kind of motivate some of my friends to draw more too, because I have some friends who happen to be some really amazing artists, and like I think I felt like they needed to see that it's not just something that only a certain amount of people or certain types of people can do because of certain situations in life. So I'm probably gonna do this for a hobby, because I remember trying to do some arts, but I'm not good at all and just stop. But these days I start to think about trying to really learn. Yeah, like, and it's okay if you want to just do this for a hobby. Like, I've known a lot of people who did not necessarily need to do art as part of their like, they have to do art as their livelihood, right? Like they can't do anything else in their lives. I know that there's people who are like that, who but it's okay to want to learn just for a hobby. And it's never really too late to learn. Like, again, I'm much older than most of you guys, if not all of you guys. And I started my journey in art when I was little, and I stopped for a very long time. Like, I got into the mindset of like a lot of other Cappies, where we needed to go and look for a quote unquote real job, right? And get a real career that will make everybody, all the capybaras, celebrate you and be happy for you and stuff like that. So I stopped drawing for quite a long time. When I finished going to college, and I came out and started working and stuff like that, I stopped drawing for a while, and then I picked it up like a couple of years before a COVID hit, and this is where I am right now. Like, after doing this for like, what, 7 years or so, something like that. It's never too late to learn. and still trying something new is a good thing to our brain too. New connections. Yeah, you know, like it's definitely, and I feel like with art specifically, you know, there's a lot of studies that show that, you know, it's really just never too late, because even for people who think that it's too late because they started late, and you know, they're worried that they can't catch up and they can't keep up with you know, all the younger peeps who are actively doing the arts now and stuff like that, right? It's not quite like that. I feel like you learn certain things just as easily as anybody else can when it comes to arting and stuff like that, no matter what age you are. And who knows, there might be things that you might realize now, that you're a little bit older, right? Like I know for example, for me, when I stopped drawing, when I initially first stopped drawing, and arting and stuff like that, the thing that I was drawing a lot of was not anime girls and things like that. It was actually freaking like Dragon Ball Z and things like that. I was really big into action shonen manga and action oriented stuff. And so, like, you know, I went from that and I switched up my style completely to doing something more like this. And so I don't think it's ever too late. Let's just say, you know, to start and to grow as an artist. Like, you know, you'd be amazed at what you can do. Yep, yeah, you know, like, and you know, like, I hope that it's like for a lot of people that they realize that themselves too, you know, like, it is a slow learning process in the beginning. Like, arting in the beginning when you're first learning is hard because you don't know where to start, and you know how you're progressing is rather slow. But you know, like, for me, one day it just kind of started to click with me in my brain. I don't know what happened. I was just drawing. I think I was drawing like May from Guilty Gear. Like, I was seriously drawing like a Guilty Gear character at that time, and it freaking just started to kind of like, my brain just started kind of like one day just like I got it somehow. Like, I don't know what it is that I was thinking, but I started to think, oh shoot, you know what, this is how you should be doing it and stuff like that. And you know, I kind of didn't look back since, right? So it's like it's a process of a lot of personal discovery that one day once you start to get it one day, then you kind of don't look back, you know. It's hard for me to explain it. I'm not a very good like art teacher or anything like that, but you know, like, that's just kind of how my experience was. I'm pretty sure it's different for everyone because it's such a personal thing for everyone when it comes to arting. I was into some dark themes like the death with a skid and cape. I don't know the correct words in English, sorry. Oh yeah. I love hearing personal experience. This really motivates me. Yeah, you know, like, I think, you know, like, it helps to hear about other people's journeys, right? Like, especially when it comes to arting and stuff like that. And, you know, again, I never really want anybody to ever feel like it's too late, I can't do this and stuff like that. I don't think it's ever really too late for anybody to start learning to do arting and stuff like that, right? Like, I feel like arting is one of those things that just gets better as you get older. You know, it ages like fine wine, that kind of thing. I truly believe that when it comes to arting, for a lot of people and stuff like that. So I, you know, like, and it's really cool that, you know, like, to hear that you want to give it a shot and stuff like that. The hardest thing though is like knowing where to start, right? Because there's a lot of people that will tell you all sorts of different things in terms of like where to start arting. Like, you know, oh, you gotta learn Loomis method to create to draw heads, right? You gotta learn to draw boxes all over the place. The more boxes you draw, the better you're gonna be at arting and stuff like that. Everybody will tell you something different about like what makes a good start for an artist, right? But the problem is that everybody's experience is so individualized that it's different because everybody learns in a different way, and especially with arting, because it's such a personal journey that it's hard for any one artist to actually be like, hey, you know, if you do this, this is gonna guarantee that you're gonna learn the art, right? Because it's such a personal journey for so many people. So a lot of people kind of learn differently, and some people learn it like, you know, like doing really weird things, you know. I saw this yesterday, like start with lines, cube, circles, spheres, and pyramids. I don't know. Yeah, I think those things are pretty good, right? In terms to learn, right? I will never say that they're not. They're because even for me, you know, like drawing things like you know, like cylinders, right? Like you want to draw like cylinders and stuff like that, right? These types of exercises help you to figure out the basic shapes and building blocks of characters and anything that you can draw in real life. And you know, they also help you to practice like different things like angles and perspectives and things like that, right? So learning to draw them is actually not a bad idea, right? But the trap is that you don't use them when you're drawing them. You don't apply them. That's the trap of drawing primitives and shapes and stuff like that, right? Like you have to understand how to apply this to an actual drawing and stuff like that, right? So doing these as exercises is great, but if they stay as just you repeating an exercise without actually understanding how to apply those shapes to a drawing, right? That's where a lot of people will get stuck, and they'll feel like, I'm not getting any better. Why? I'm drawing all the squares and the cylinders and the circles. I'm drawing all of this stuff, but for some reason I'm not getting better, and it's like it's because you're not putting those exercises to practice. So I think that's like the next step after you start learning to draw those. Yeah, perspective is really hard. It definitely is. Learn how to draw with these 5 tips in 3 months. Yeah, and I will never doubt those videos where they tell you to do stuff like this, right? Because it does work. But the thing that needs to be emphasized is like, okay, I know how to draw the cube, right? But where is the cube in my image and stuff like that, right? So I think and this is more of an animator thing than for illustrators, but I think one of the interesting things, and especially since if you're somebody that wants to do fan art for like specific characters and stuff like that, right, is taking like a character fan art that you like, posting it onto like, you know, like making a layer. If you're working digitally, you'll make a layer out of this, right? But you could also do this in real life too. If you have like a television screen or a light box or something like that, you could shine light through, and you could put a piece of paper over it, and you just trace the character and try to identify those shapes on the character, and do that work over and over. That will help you to kind of understand, oh shoot, this is where those shapes actually exist. So I think that's like a good exercise for a lot of people, honestly, like to try, you know, just to give them an idea of like how characters are built, and just to understand like what goes into building, like the building blocks of the body, and what shapes actually create the hips, and what shapes create the head, and things like that, right? So, you know, yeah, where I put this, how this work, yeah, you know, like understanding how those shapes actually apply to the artwork that you're doing is like super important. And I think sometimes you know, when people who are learning at first hear that they should draw like, you know, cubes and trapezoids and whatever's, right? Like, you know, like they forget the part that a lot of people forget to tell them is, oh, you know what, like, draw those things, but also, you know, try to understand now where those shapes actually go. So I think that's a pretty big thing. Or I could be crazy. Again, you know, like I always say this, I'm still learning myself quite a bit. I'm not like a great at being an art teacher or explaining things and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like, you know, I'm feeling my own way around all this as well. So, you know, it's just one of those things that, like, one of the observations that I've made. I'm pretty certain that there's other art tubers here that can explain it like way better than I can in that regard. But, you know, that's my thoughts. That's my 5 cents on it. It's not worth too much, but you can take it. You can have it. But yeah, you know, like, I think also, you know, like, starting with something that you're really interested in can really help boost your learning. You know, like, it like, some people like drawing realism, for example. They like drawing the really realistic characters and things like that. Some people do love that, right? But then also some people like drawing booby anime girls and stuff like that, right? So, you know, like, if you want to start with a topic that you really are interested in. I think that will keep you motivated. Your art's pretty amazing. I love it. Oh, really? Thank you. You know, I saw a Brazilian artist just pick some real photos and cover with lines and cube cylinders showing where they appear. Something like that. Yeah, you know. I really like anime arts and stuff like that. And I think some of you have heard me go on and on about it before, but, you know, like, not gonna lie, the booby anime girls, they made me change my entire art style, including my thoughts on where I should apply said art style. As, again, like, it's no secret, but I do want to at some point venture into a little bit more of the spice, art. I would like to be a spice monger of my own at some point, but whether or not I'm able to is another story, because I'm apparently a little bit too say-so, and not as degenerate as others. But you know what? It's okay. I understand. Everybody thinks the Cappy is say-so, and definitely not degenerate. This is the image that I am maintaining. I can maintain this image so long as I'm on Twitch, which is also why I've been trying to get that account on another said service, because as long as I am on Twitch, Twitch-kun will be around, and I have to maintain my say-so and definitely not degenerate image. This character is your creation, or are you making fan art? So yeah, this one is actually fan art of Neon from Goddess of Victory Nikkei. This is a mobile game that me and Mooney, my partner, we love playing the game. We actually met while playing the game. And you know, so I am doing fan art for that particular game right now and stuff like that. You know, like, I don't have too many original characters. You see Biscotti on the screen. That's one of my original characters. She started off as the basically the mascot for this channel. And I also have a we also have a capybara girl that we adopted as part of our brand Cappy Buds. So we have a couple of original characters, and Mooney has her own VTuber model and stuff like that. So you know, we got quite a few original works. It's just that I don't I don't draw too much of them. That's the issue. I should probably try to draw more of our original works, but you know, I just like doing fan art so much. That's awesome. Yeah. It's like I designed her originally because I don't have it. Do I have it? Do I still have it? I don't have the I actually do. So here, let me show you guys really quick. Let's see. Is this it? Okay, good. I'm gonna take Biscotti off the screen, but originally I so the reason that Biscotti exists is because this was my original this was my original mascot for this channel. Was Uriah Beardsley. Mr. Uriah Beardsley was who goes by the initials UB. Was meant to represent the channel, but unfortunately Mr. Beardsley was a little bit too shall we say creepy for everyone. So I needed someone that was a little bit more friendly for everybody. Okay, I understand you. Yeah. For those of you who may or may not know his initials and what his initials are pointing to, you can kind of tell what kind of character I was making fun of. But he was a little bit too how should we say oogly bastardly. Bring the anime girl back. Yeah, I will bring the anime girl back. But yeah, I designed Biscotti a number of years ago. She's actually due for a new outfit, actually. I feel like because it's been a minute since I created. This is version 2 of her. But it's been a minute since I've given her an update, and I feel like I need to update her for more modern standards for her costume and stuff like that. There's certain things that I would like to add, change her hair just a little bit, and you know, like give her a different type of costume that's maybe a little bit more more from the vision that I originally had for her. Like I think version 2 of her was supposed to be similar to a lot of the maid cafe type characters that you would see in a lot of anime and stuff like that. So I, you know, like I'm still thinking about like how to best approach her new costume, because if I give her a new costume, now this model was rigged by Watininini, who's excellent VTuber model rigger that's here on Twitch. She actually rated in earlier, and you know, like I don't want the rigging to go to waste just because I created a different costume for her. So I'm trying to figure out how to draw the parts of the costume so that I can kind of like do like a texture swap of it basically in some way, shape, or form, right? So I'm gonna try to figure that out and see how that goes, and then, you know, like how we can change certain things, like maybe a little bit of her hair too with that, you know. Yeah. And then yeah, like we'll see where that goes. But for now, you know, I will still be doing a whole lot of fan art on this stream for the time being, because you know, fan art is kind of where it's at for me right now. Like other than Neon right now, who do we have in the pipeline right now? So other than Neon, we have Titty Star Honest. I finished her line art, but there's some stuff that I have to change about the way that I drew certain things because I could not see the details on her costume. And Mooney was helping me to add color to this one. So she started adding certain colors and she noticed that certain details are wrong. And I completely forgot to draw certain things also. Like there's a couple of stars and things like that are on her costume that are like just not there. And I have to redo some of the accessories so that they're a little bit more in line with what she looks like in the game. So there's Titty Star Honest, and then after I finish line art on Neon, I have been sketching out how to draw Ingrid from Street Fighter 6. It's been a minute since I picked up Street Fighter 6, but ever since Ingrid came out, I'm like, okay, it's time. It's time to return. I know there's varying opinions about Ingrid. I will say that I'm an Ingrid OG. I actually liked her from Capcom Fighting Evolution. Like I go back that far, okay? So there was no way in heck I wasn't gonna play the game again when she came out. But yeah, like so we'll see, you know. Really hard to draw in this position. My brain don't process this. Oh, yeah. Like, the pose actually for Ingrid was, because I was thinking about, the fact that she lives in a zero-G environment. She's like a fifth or sixth dimensional being, alien something, right? In her lore. So, you know, like I didn't want to just draw her standing up normally, like because her whole thing is like, you know, just being weird and breaking the fourth wall and doing all sorts of crazy like goddess like type stuff, right? So it's like one of the tricks to doing images like this is what I do when I have to draw characters in angles that I can't even really imagine doing. Is I don't draw her like this. Like I didn't draw her upside down. I actually had my I had my canvas done upside down, and I imagined drawing her lying flat on her back. And then when you flip it back normal, now she's upside down. so like sometimes yeah. Sometimes don't try to think of the pose, like, because it's hard enough to wrap your head around certain things, right? So just think about something that looks close to it, and you know, drawing a character like this, sleeping on their back with their, you know, like kicking their legs up, right? If you think of it like that, then you have an easier time getting things down. Now, why would I need to draw a character sleeping on their back and kicking their legs up? I don't know. There's probably a lot of good reasons for needing to draw a character like that. Why would I need to do that? I don't know. There's nothing unsay-so about that. I just had to do it. I just had to do it the way that I needed to do it so that I would get the look eventually. Yeah, sometimes you really gotta, like, that is necessary. Of course not. But I want... You know, like, why do you need to draw a character like that? You know, why, right? There's no clear reason why an artist would need to draw that pose. Now, the hard part for me now is, okay, so Neon has, like, a ton of crazy things, attached to her strap here, right? So, her strap here is actually got an extra line in here. So let's do this, right? So it's actually got something like a yellow part that sticks out here that goes under there. And then she's got like military medals down here, as well as like a badge of some sort, like a triangular badge that I'm not certain about. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get yelled at by all the lore hounds that know what the heck is up with all these things, because I haven't played that far into the story to understand what's going on. everybody's gonna be like, Bard, you're a fake fan! Not fake fan, I just haven't gotten far enough into the story, okay? You know, when I saw you draw, I'm thinking about the process and the paper. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's just for study process. Yeah, seriously. Just for study process, bro. Because you can do some layers on the PC, but not on the paper. Yeah, so that's why I was telling you, like, just to kind of explain it a little bit, right? Like, and this is for okay, this is so old school, right? This is something that we used to do. Oh my god, this is gonna I'm gonna age myself so much. Okay, so back in the day, right? I don't know if you can do this with TVs today, right? But so back in the day, you would have your TV, right? You would have your TV, okay? I guess there's dials and stuff like that. Let me just like let me just do this, okay? So that back in the day, you have your TV, right? You would set it to like something like channel 3. For those of you who know, you know, right? You would take your paper. You would take your paper right here with all the static on the screen and stuff. You would just stick it right on the TV. You would literally just stick it right on the TV because the TV has you have it on a channel that's like just kind of on with all sorts of static and stuff like that. Like the glow from the TV and the fact that whatever is going on with the TV, it has like you could feel it. It will the paper will just stick to it. Okay, the paper will just freaking stick to it. And then you can put that on there with whatever you scribbled on it, right? And then you could put a second piece of paper over that and just stick it on top of that. And you would have like a makeshift light box, okay? So this is like the really old freaking way of doing it, right? You don't need to do that now. You seriously do not need to do that now. Oh my god, big brain. So these days, right, it's a little bit different. These days, you can actually buy a pretty simple lightbox type setup from IKEA or something like that. They have like these really cheap, like, oh, you just turn on an LED bulb inside of it and it's like a sheet of like plastic that's on top of it. But if you can get like anything transparent, whether it's like a be careful when you handle glass, people. But you know, if you can get like a sheet of acrylic or something like that, that's like that, or something like that, something transparent, even if it's like a glass pane or something like that. You put it standing on something, and then you slide your phone underneath it, so you put your phone underneath it, or something like that, and you turn on the flashlight. Then you can put your paper on top, and then that's also like a makeshift light box. I'm talking about the most ghetto shit ever, but you can do stuff like that as long as you have something that's like a really bright light that can go behind a sheet of paper, and then you can have something to lean against, right? Then you too can make yourself a light box. It's not actually that hard to do. I think I know what you mean. Yeah. It's really like you just got to be really creative about what you do with all the stuff that you have around readily available around you. Like, don't go out of your way to spend money and buy expensive stuff to do art. You know, like ultimately art is about discovering how to do certain things in a way that you're the most comfortable with. So you really don't need all this super crazy expensive stuff. Like, you know. Again, I used to draw on loose leaf paper with a regular pen and stuff like that, right? And you know that worked for me for a while, and I lived with it for a long time, and then eventually I ended up like graduating to digital art when I could, you know. And it's like, for anybody who's like, but it takes like a long time to get good at art. It does. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, right? But like, you'll eventually get there. You'll eventually get there as long as you stick with it, right? But yeah, like it is a huge process, And now I don't have money to spend with this too. Yeah, like art shouldn't be about the amount of money that you spend on it to get good at it. I know that like some people go to some really freaking expensive art schools, right? I know. Heck, I have a lot of friends who ended up doing that themselves. But, you didn't necessarily need to. If you're lucky enough, you can learn it on your own too, and you just look for resources on, because now we got YouTube and all sorts of other places, TikTok, Instagram and stuff like that. There's a lot of places where you can look up resources to learn art on your own. You don't need to go that way, to go the super expensive school route, unless you're certain and you're dead set on that, right? Like, because I think one of the most important things about schooling that is never talked about, because this is a business thing. This is less about the actual art and more about the business of art stuff, right? The more important thing about schooling is making connections with other people who are doing the same thing as you and who are, like your peers and stuff like that. Like, because those are the people that you're likely gonna work with in the future and stuff like that. So schools and stuff like that is more important in that regard than actually learning the skill. I feel like, even though there's a lot of things that I would have never known had I not talked to somebody that actually was an art teacher. There are definitely benefits to learning from educational institutions for this, but it's not the end or be all of learning arting and stuff, because I'm pretty much self-taught. I even though I have like a degree in graphic design, it was not art related and stuff. I took the minimum amount of art and illustration courses to get that degree. I may have taken one or two when I got that degree. So it's like, I was never really like traditionally trained like a lot some other people in terms of arting. If I was real into this in the future, I'll try to, but buy something better and this types of things. Yeah, that's the thing. I started late in my life. Well, late generally, you can't see me doing the air quotes with my hands, but what would be considered like a little bit later. And I also did not I also did not go through the general educational system to learn it and stuff like that. And that's not to say that it doesn't work. I'm not gonna comment on art schools and stuff like that, because ultimately for some people art schools does work. I'm not gonna say that they never work and stuff like that, right? Because everybody's again, art is such an individualized journey that everybody learns a different way. For some people, that means going to art classes and going to have a traditional art learning experience. For some people that's definitely the case, but for other people, maybe not so much. I'm a psychologist, man. Try new. Oh, well, that's really cool. Like, and yeah, like for a lot of people, this is also a hobby, right? Like, you could definitely say for me that this is a hobby, for certain to a certain point, right? Like, even though I've recently taken it a whole lot more seriously, because I'm trying to participate in more artist alleys at conventions, and like I'm trying to get myself more trained up to do the arting thing. so that maybe one day perhaps I can escape from the daily grind of the 9 to 5 that I do, right? But you know, until that happens, realistically, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here doing the arting thing on the tubes, on the Twitch and the tubes. Which is, again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like that's what the situation is, and you know, I'm just trying to work around it until I find that path forward for myself, you know? But yeah, like I do get excited about talking art things with people, not necessarily because I think that I know a whole lot, but because like when people are interested and stuff like that, it like it gets me also like very I guess passionate about the whole thing, you know? Is that how it is? I don't know. See, this is where all the talk about drawing boxes and stuff this is where all that talk comes into play. Yes, being better every day. Yeah, you know, and you go at your own pace, right? Like, you know, don't ever feel like you have to bust your ass like every day consistently, you know, to do the art thing. If you've got the time for it, then yeah, you've got the time for it. But if you need to take a break, also, you know, it's okay. It's okay, you know. I mean, eventually everybody wants to get to be godlike when it comes to arting, right? Like everybody's gonna want to be, right? Like even me, I imagine like maybe one day I will get good enough where I draw the spice, and you guys are gonna be like, "Whoa, that's that capybara that draws the Bobby girls." one day, one day. You guys will be like that. Oh, I know. You know, there's this capybara that draws the booby girls, and it's pretty okay, and stuff like that. That's how you know, like everybody has their own goals. That is my goal. It's actually a very it's a very say so, and definitely not degenerate goal to have. I'm pretty certain that, you know, this is the goal that everybody should strive for. One day, you know, one day. Well, we shall see, you know? And like, you know, again, this is, you know... Hold on, let me see if I can do this right. So this is one of the harder things for me, personally, is not really understanding how to draw guns and stuff. Oh, okay. Because I may draw anime girls, but guns is something that I don't like. Mechs in general, even though I love myself like Transformers and Mobile Suit Gundam, things like that, I don't actually draw a whole lot when it comes to doing mechs and mechanical design and machinery and stuff like that. This is the weakest part for me, so I've got to take my time to draw this this gun, unfortunately, and it's like one of the biggest in the game. It's like crazy how enormous the thing is, so... Mechs are really cool. They are, you know, like, but they also test your... They are, like, knowledge tests. That's what the fighting game community would call it, but, they are definitely knowledge check in terms of arting, because, you know, a lot of mechs happen to be drawn very humanoid, like, and even when they're not drawn humanoid like, you've got to test your grasp of proportions and perspective. They really test you. And it's something that I'm not particularly that good at. And actually, I think... Oh. Okay. I completely failed to understand this part here like this, but now I get it. I get it. Okay. Yeah, and it's like also the tough part is working off of references that are that don't have the details quite visible and stuff like that. So I've got to do these things where I'm drawing the primitives here and then just like figuring out, okay, how does this all connect then at the end of the day. But yeah, unfortunately for me though, I'm almost out of time for today, cause the unfortunate part is I mentioned it earlier too. I do have a 9-to-5 job, outside of arting and stuff like that. I cannot be a full-time artist, unfortunately. As much as I would love to be, I cannot. So I am almost out of time today, but we made a lot of progress. I hear another guys talking the same thing that don't like to draw like the other anime. Oh, like what? Like the what were we talking about before then? Like just drawing mechs and stuff like that, but they don't like to draw other anime girls and things like that, like mech type. Yeah. You know, it is really, again, it's a test. It's a knowledge check on your grasp of proportions and all that stuff, you know? They like anime guys and girls. Oh, okay, yeah. I have not drawn too many anime guys as of late. I think there's gonna be a near future though where I have to learn and bone up on drawing more anime guys for quite a bit. For what reason? I don't know. It's I'm pretty sure that the reason is going to be one that is very very say-so and not degenerate. But I will have to I will have to draw them, or at least parts of them. So that's a thing that is likely gonna happen. Yeah, I noticed when I zoomed out that it was a little bit off here, so I have to correct them. All for that, whatever that part is. And then I gotta go down. I gotta go down this massive rectangular shape and do that for the whole freaking gun and stuff. And that's just the front part of the gun, because it looks like it back here I need to add certain parts of it. But back here it's gonna be a lot less detailed because it doesn't need to have that level of detail. So the further away from the view of the person looking at the image, the less detail that you technically have to add there, because I'm probably gonna have most of this blurred out a lot, and then behind her is gonna be a huge explosion, because that's what Neon's all about, just explosions and stuff. So you know, we're gonna have to do that. Yeah, you know, it's like it's all good. Now what else with this image and stuff like that? Like her jacket, I think I need to add like the armband and things like that. There's other things that I need to add, just like these small details. Oh yeah, like this thing right here. I started trying to do the gun, but actually I should probably finish what's actually on her body first, right? In terms of And yeah, sorry that I tend to end up in a ramble fest. Like I just ramble on about art stuff all the time, even though it's like, again, I'm not necessarily like, I wouldn't consider myself like an expert in a lot of ways that you know, like there's a lot of artists out there that are amazing, and they can talk your head off about certain things art wise, right? That I don't really know how to articulate as well. Because like there is something to be said. Like some people can teach, but they can't, like, I won't say they can't do the thing. That's a horrible way to say it, right? There are some people who are just better at teaching than others and stuff like that, right? It's why in sports you see like some players can become coaches, but then other players cannot be a coach ever. Their competitive spirit is just way too high in terms of like, you know, what they do, where they can't really impart the knowledge anymore because they only think about how to beat people and stuff like that in terms of, so it's kind of like that, like in a lot of ways. I think I don't know if I'm like making a whole lot of sense, but there are some people who are just better at doing the teaching than I ever will be, for certain. Try to find some to start to draw today, just a little. Yeah, you know, like, and you know, like, again, you don't have to push yourself like I have to do this right now and stuff like that, but find something that you enjoy a lot, and then, you know, give it a shot and try to draw a little bit, and, you know, see where that goes for you and stuff like that, right? And one last thing that I will say for anybody that's starting to draw now and is kind of in the learning process and stuff like that, the last thing that you ever want to do as someone who is just starting out in art and learning things, you know, new and stuff like that, right? Do not ever, and I will say this, do not ever try to compare yourself to another artist. You know, like, no matter what level you are, you can have a goal for yourself to, I want to draw like this artist. I have my favorite artist, right? That I would love to draw like and stuff like that, right? But the only person you should ever be comparing yourself to is yourself. Like, you know, a couple of years down the line, you should never try to force yourself to be like, you know what, I'm not as good as X artist, I'm not as good as you know, this person or that person that I admire so much, because that's really self-destructive. Because, you know, honestly speaking, for those of us that have our own personal art gods and stuff like that, right, you're never gonna be at a level where you're gonna feel like you're just as good, if not better than them, and stuff like that. So comparing yourself to one of them is a futile effort. You should only really be focused on comparing yourself to yourself, like a year from now, a month from now, or whatever, you know, like just to see your own progress. But don't try to compare yourself to one of your favorite artists, because it's like you're setting yourself up for failure, like crazy in that regard and stuff like that. So I would never encourage anybody to go and try to compare themselves to their favorite artists right away. You know, like, again, you could have that goal. You could be like, hey, I wanna draw like Yoneyama Mai. I wanna draw like Art Germ, you know, like Stanley Lau is an amazing artist. I want to be just like Stanley Lau. You can have that as a goal, but you shouldn't put that much pressure on yourself, because, you know, they're your art gods for a reason. They're not you're not gonna reach that level, like, you know, tomorrow. So don't do that to yourself. But yeah, that's definitely one piece of advice that I can confidently give to anybody who's starting to learn the arting. Just compare yourself to your own progress, like sometime down the road, like maybe a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. Just see how far you've come, personally. But don't try to to compare yourself to people who are literal professionals in the field, and quite literally have been doing this for so many years that, like, how are you ever going to catch up, right? Like, don't do that to yourselves. Yeah, they do spend a whole lot of time and effort on this, I'm the one that be better than yesterday, because that's the mistake I was making for myself. There was a time when I was like, damn, because actually here, let me see if I could. Granted, I don't have too much of my art from back in the day. I didn't post a whole lot of stuff back then, but it's like, there's some stuff that I posted, like, oh wow, okay, like this image. I think I've shown this image before here before, but this was me in my days when I really liked Sword Art Online. This is around the time when I started getting back into drawing. This is what is this circle? What is this? When was this? 2014. Oh my god. Oh man, this is from 2014. This is from so long ago at this point. It's not really that long ago to me, but for like, realistically speaking, this is from like another lifetime ago and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh man. But yeah, like, again, you should only really compare yourself to yourself. And, this is how I was drawing, like, what, 12 years ago? And stuff like that. So, you do that, you look at that, you go, okay, so that's what I was doing 12 years ago. And, this is what I was doing, like, say, last year, right? Like, this is something that I was doing, like, last year. What, last year or the year before? So you kind of, like, you judge your own your progress based on yourself. Don't compare yourself to your art gods. You just go, hey, this was me, like, more than 10 years ago, and this is me last year. So did I make some improvements, Like, that's how you should really approach your own improvement in art. I feel like this is the one big thing in terms of advice that I will give any person. And it took me a long time to get here. Like, you guys just heard it. Like, this was me last year, or maybe even 2 years ago. And this was 12 years ago? Just, like, such a ridiculous amount of time. That I can't even believe that's still there. Really good? Yeah, oh, thank you, But yeah, like, it's one of those things, like, you have to put things into perspective for yourself by doing things like that, not by comparing yourself to the people you really like, because the unfortunate part is, like, I can point out all my favorite artists and be like, oh, am I anywhere near close to my favorite artist? Likely not. And it's more of a situation of, I probably will always feel like I've never caught up to my favorite artists and stuff like that, And if you do that to yourself, then you're just never going to have the motivation to grow and stuff like that, But yeah, so I think that's about it for us today. Now, I do stream every day. Well, not every day, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays on the weekdays from 6 p.m. Eastern time in the United States to around 8-ish o'clock. And the unfortunate part is, because I have a 9-to-5 job, like, I can't spend too much longer time, especially when I'm on solo, because unfortunately I'm long distance with Mooney these days, right now anyway. So it's like when we're not together, I have to fend for myself. I have to go hunt my own my own lunch in the rainforest. And you know, when you hunt your own lunch in the rainforest, or lunch and dinner, I should say, in the rainforest, you gotta avoid all the pythons and the other gators and stuff like that. You know, you gotta do that. So you know, since I gotta do that, you know, like yeah, you know, hope to see you guys tomorrow too. But before you guys go, if you would like to stick around for a little bit, we can have a say so and definitely not the degenerate barber aid. We can have a say so and definitely not degenerate bard raid. Let's see who's on right now. You know, maybe there's somebody else doing some arting. For those of you on Twitch, you would be following us into the raid. For those of you on YouTube, unfortunately, there's no raiding there to be done. But hey, you know, we'll see you guys tomorrow too. But let's see who's on right now. So we raided someone new yesterday. We checked in on someone new yesterday. Do we check in on someone not as new today? Let's see. Let's see who's on right now. Booba Arts, Gaming. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. That's the raid message as soon as I find someone to actually raid into. The unfortunate part for me is that like it's hard for me to find people to raid into because I get timid about raiding into people that I don't necessarily know. And a lot of the people that I would normally raid into with arting channels and stuff like that, they have already, like, you know, they have already signed off for the night. like so I'm like, no, why couldn't you guys be here so I can raid into you guys? Let's see who. Maybe we have to go and pay a visit to someone new. And if we have to pay a visit to someone new, I don't mind. But we just gotta find something that's I think you guys would be interested in looking at, because I know that you guys would be interested in booba arts, right? You guys would be interested in booba arts. You guys wouldn't be here if you wouldn't, or you weren't. Let's see. Who is drawing? I see a furry foot. I see... Oh, what is that? Okay, there's a lot of crazy things. I'm seeing a lot of crazy things. Oh. Maybe we will go over here. We're gonna go ahead and pay a visit to someone new who is actually drawing something that looks interesting to us. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. 6 p.m. Eastern time. Same place. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and pay a visit to Tina Cutie. I think that's how you say the name. I don't know them, but like we're gonna pay a visit. So you know, when we drop in on them, be sure to give them a warm welcome from the Bard raid. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. All right, see you guys.